Welcome to twin number 49 on this beautiful, cloudy winter day here in Ontario, Canada. And this week in Nerd News, I want to share some 5 stories with you that we should be paying attention to and act accordingly. In this first story, are we still paying for antivirus software? Experts say you probably don't need it. So for example, Windows comes with Defender as part of its operating system, and endpoint protection, however, that goes beyond traditional antivirus still has value. Just ask a security operations center operator, a SOC operator that looks for and prevents threats. In that case, it's still value. So really what it comes down to is the old antivirus is no longer carrying value, but endpoint protection that goes beyond that still does. iPhones of United States diplomats were hacked using zero-day exploits. What's noteworthy here in this story is that just because previously used exploits by the NSO Group's Pegasus software are now patched, if you have the latest iOS on your iPhones or iPads, we have no idea what other exploits they have still that are not yet known to us or to Apple. And so this brings us back to the proven mitigation by using zero trust connectivity, which is possible on iPhones. Just ask us how. And in this next story, we have big tech mandating multi-factor authentication. Google, for example, is doing that, but hackers do have workarounds. And so here's a quote: MFA solutions can be hacked by exploiting unpatched software or social engineering, among other methods. Now, while this is true, MFA still dramatically reduces any person's attack surface. We just have to remember that the thief needs to find only a single weakness, but us, the defenders and users, we have to find them all. The vast majority of our network cyber experts favor mandates to report hacks. If we don't know how our most critical industries are vulnerable, we are always going to be one step behind the bad guys. That sums it up nicely. However, executive business interests don't line up with the collective global need to share. What executive wants to say, hey, people, this is how we got hit, right? Because it's difficult to see how the press and shareholders are going to respond. So the safer thing in an executive mind's eye might be just to say nothing. But that's why it's not been done voluntarily. So it does appear to be a problem that can only be solved with public policy. Google Play apps downloaded over 300,000 times that stole banking credentials. After reading this, I just realized we've arrived at a place where it is becoming increasingly difficult to even have a safe Android device. It's like a cat and mouse game, and each time Google tightens the app publishing process, criminals just find another way. So for now, if you're on Android, stay current, keep your apps to a minimum, and only with publishers that have a long history of offering safe apps. And did you know that sagacity is a measurement of wisdom? The 28-item San Diego Wisdom Scale is the gold standard, but there's this 7-question test that can determine how wise you are. And if you're like me, this will be a fascinating read. See you next week.